Good evening, everyone. We are back for some Bible study time with as the Pokeball turns. I'm going to be reacting to Scrafty. So yeah, let's get to it, shall we?
Yeah, this is EastSide Scrafty. This is my Pokemon story.
So I wonder what this story is going to entail of this time. I do wonder what he's going to talk about. This will just be my blind reaction to his story, and hopefully it'll be something that won't trigger the daylight side of me.
Welcome to As the Pokeball Turns, where every voice, every journey, and every memory brings us closer to the world of Pokemon. I'm David Hernandez, and I'm joined by someone with a remarkable story that I guarantee you won't forget. Eastside Scrafty, welcome to As the Pokeball Turns.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going really well, man. I hope that you're doing well. I have some insights to how this is going to go, and I'm excited to finally have you on the podcast. I was telling you that beforehand. But I'll throw you a little softball because obviously you're known as Eastside Scrafty. I want to know what's the inspiration behind that name.
All right, so for that, it is gonna sound so stupid. One of my favorite rappers is Westside Boogie, and my favorite Pokemon being Scrafty. I'm just like, all right, how do I set aside this Scrafty page apart? Because I noticed that there's some. Well, granted they were inactive, but there's some Scrafty pages on here that posted some less than favorable things, and I didn't want to get mixed up with them. So I was like, let's just put the East Side on there because I live in the East Coast. And it kind of sounds like a hip hop.
I wonder what he means by that. Illegal activity or something.
I have a very deep connection with black culture. So it just felt right to me, you know?
I got you. So in a way, it felt like Eastside Scrafty combined both your love for hip hop and rap with your love for Pokemon, it sounds like.
Right.
What is it about Scrafty that makes you your favorite Pokemon?
Well, when I look at Scrafty, it kind of reminded me about the way I grew up, if that makes sense. It's just like the baggy pants. I've always been aware of like very loose clothing. Always loved wearing hoodies, got the hood on Sting. And personally, I think the hood isn't utilized enough in the games and the media. That's just me. Hopefully the Mega changes that. Wink, wink.
Wait, there's a Mega?
Another thing I love about Scrafty is the fact that it's always been a very
Wait,
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Wait, he gets a Mega?
Take care of mine, you know what I'm saying? It takes care of its family, takes care of its friends.
No, I got spoiled! No!
It'll ride or die for you. That's kind of the way I am.
I got spoiled!
It's kind of hard to get to know people once.
Wait, no. I knew. Yeah. He has a Mega. The KKK Mega. I forgot. I didn't get spoiled.
Right.
I know
that.
that.
With them, it's on.
Oh,
awesome.
Jesus.
I guess
Yo, what's up, good Leroy? Howdy, welcome.
Kind of want to be that loyal to your friends or your family, like to have that deep protection for them.
Well, my family's really disjointed. So the inner circle of my family, even the inner circle, isn't all that tight and connected anymore, which doesn't sit right with me. My little sibling, who runs the Nocturne page, that boy Nocturne, is like the only real member of my inner family that I keep a tight relationship with. Mm-hmm. And
spoiler alert.
Just the friends that made along the way.
Sorry.
Close and personal. Even though I can't see them that much in person anymore, it's like I would die for these people because they actually check up on me and make sure I'm all right. And I wouldn't want anything to happen to me either, you know?
I mean, that's so important because a lot of people, I think we grew up with this perception that family's blood. And sometimes that's not always the case. For some of us, family's the people we find along the way, and that just fits into such the theme of what Pokemon's about.
Howdy, Garrett. Welcome, my dudes. Good morning to you as well.
And you'll go on these like different like routes and different choices y'all make,
right?
And you meet these people. Like, it's not everybody, but there's just certain people that just stick with you. That even if you don't see them for years. It's like
I agree. Really Pokemon is a fun game.
Exactly. And one of the big things I've come to realize as growing up, sometimes family, you just can't trust them. Like, you can still love them, but you gotta love them from a distance, you know?
I agree.
I've learned that too. Yeah.
You want to hear, since you mentioned it, with like starters and going on a journey, you want to hear
For me, the truest family that I have ever experienced was the online family that I have made. Online friends who I class as my family compared to my actual family or even my foster parents are my real family. So yeah, I do relate to Scrafty. I do relate to him.
Yeah, go for it.
I almost always can my starter Pokemon as soon as I get the chance.
Excuse
Really?
you?
So you don't stick with it.
Very rarely. I think there's only
That is a sin.
generations where I stick with it.
That's a sin.
Generation 4 because I love Torterra. Generation 5 because I love Samurott. The only Pokemon from Generation 5, the starter Pokemon, I'm not really a fan of.
So the thing is, this guy likes the worst Pokemon in those two generations. Samurott and Torterra. No one likes them. Hardly anyone likes them. If I were to do like a poll, no one's gonna pick Samurott or Torterra. That's just how it is. They're the least liked starters in those generations, I would say. Oh, send that friend request on Pokemon Master X. Yeah, I will add you soon.
And then
Later after this.
3, I can pick.
Since after this stream, I'm planning to play
What's your reason for
Digimon.
not wanting
I
to
might
stick
stream
with your starter
Digimon
primarily
if I
in the other
can.
generations?
Honestly, I feel like it's just an expected norm in the games where it's like, oh, hey, this is the first step of your journey. This is the Pokemon that'll be your best friend. I'm just like, nah, that don't sit right with me.
What do you mean it don't sit right with
Weird
you?
expectation. It's the same thing like family. It's like, these are your people, come thick or thin.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, your
sometimes
starter
there's
is your
the
people.
that you're supposed to be your people, they aren't actually your people. They're not good for you, you know?
Excuse
a lesson that not everybody has to learn, thankfully, but
Your
when
starter
you learn
is
that
your
lesson, it kinda
people.
sticks
They're
with
your
you in a lot of
family.
aspects of your life.
I could see that. So for you,
They're basically
the
your
starter
child.
Pokemon represented the expectation that you're supposed to love your starter Pokemon, or in this case, your family, no matter what. And you kind of were against the idea, like, I'd rather choose who I want. Just like how you said you know, whoever you choose your inner circle, you know, it's like for life. But in the same way, your Pokemon journey represented that to where you'd rather choose your first Pokemon, no matter what it is, because for you, that meant more than being given the starter from the professor.
Right.
Wow. That's pretty profound, I'm not going to lie.
It's like it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's only been starting, I think, since I turned 20, really. Because before then, I'll be like, "Oh, cool. Let me just take this. Let me just take this Mudkip or this Fennekin or whatever."
Yeah, the new Digimon
I'm
game.
just roll with this. It's not gonna leave my party, and that's just kind of the way.
The demo is out for 2 days.
I grew up and experienced things like, all right, let me do things a different way. See how I like this, and it's kind of become just part of who I am. It's like, all right, I'm not just gonna give you love to start. I'm gonna give you respect, a baseline level of respect, and you gotta earn love, you know?
Well, let's dive into your Pokemon experience. If we just start there, what was your first ever experience with Pokemon? Where does this all start?
All right, so back when I want to say in the 4th grade, I think. It was when Diamond and Pearl, the anime, was going on. I woke up, it was me, it was Cleo, my little sibling, the one that runs the Nocturne page. Love you, buddy. We woke up, we were getting ready for school, there was an episode on, and I think it was the episode. It wasn't the episode where Paul got rid of Chimchar. It was the first battle where Chimchar evolved into Monferno and then went berserk, fighting. I don't remember who was fighting. It was one false Pokemon. I think it was Electivire.
Yeah, it's usually that one.
It's usually that one.
Yeah, I think it's Electabuzz, actually. I could be wrong, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I was watching this while I was getting dressed, and I was like, you know what? I feel that. In my head, my little, 8, 9-year-old, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that guy. I had no idea what was going on. Never seen Pokemon before prior to this. I saw that. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but that monkey is mad. Fuck that nigga over there. Excuse my language.
He's racist!
I remember I was doing
Cancel
that.
him!
My little sibling
I'm joking.
I was so enamored in this, I ended up missing the bus. I got my ass whooped. My mom tore my backside up for that one. But ever since that day, I was watching the animes, and then when I was a kid, I would, whenever we were on the bus, occasionally, you know how kids are, they play with things, they throw things around on the bus. Sometimes things would slide down to the back. I think the kid was playing with his deck. He dropped his cards. The cards slipped to the back of the bus, but he was
Oh
getting off on the
no!
side. I picked the cards up. This was, I think, the last day of school. It was like I think it was the last day of school going into fifth grade because I remember I was still in the Department of Children and Family System at the time. And somebody dropped an entire deck of Pokemon cards and a Beyblade, and it slid to the back of the bus. They had to get off. And me being the little piece of shit I was,
Honestly, that would be my nightmare. Just imagine you collecting all these Pokemon cards as a kid, and it costs you God knows how much money to obtain them. Then that one bump in the road from the bus, all your stack of cards fall onto the floor to the back of the bus with all those wild apes everywhere shouting, screaming. Oh my goodness me, that would be a nightmare, I tell you. Because the buses in the UK are filthy, my dude. They are filthy. There's drinks everywhere on the floor, food everywhere on the floor. Oh my goodness me. Imagine, oh, I would get so triggered if that was me.
collecting them bitches. And that's how I kind of got into like the card aspect of it. I never really played the game. I just had them to look at them. If that makes sense, like look what I got. I was more into, and to this day, I still more am into Digimon and like Beyblades. But I do love Pokemon. I just love all three a lot. But I would like have the cards. I wouldn't know how to play or anything like that. I was like, look at these cards I got. My cards are cooler than yours, you know. And then it was the first Christmas we got back into my mother's custody after that DCF battle. I remember I got a DS.
But you had binders back then?
Cleo and I got black and white because that was when it just.
I didn't even use a binder back
I always
then.
argue about who got what version.
I didn't even know they existed.
I'm 90% sure I got black. And again, it's been so long I don't remember. But I just remember I got that. I got a wrestling game. I got something for the Wii. And then I got wrestling tickets for a house show the day before Christmas Eve, which caused drama in the house because that was my older sister's birthday. So while my older sister was having a
Hey, what do you... No, hold on. Leroy, what do you mean boo Blades? Blade is a shit, my guy. I mean, when I grew up with Blade, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yakugan, I believe, when I was in secondary school, I believe. Yeah, those were the goats, dude. Blade, you can't diss on Blade. Especially on the school playgrounds, and you let it rip. Oh my god, those were the days back then. Before, like, Pokemon came out on the Nintendo DS. I think, from back then. Wait, where was Blade created? The Blades, wait. When did the Blades created? In 1999. Okay, yeah. So I do remember ripping it out in school, primary school, back then. Until Pokemon Platinum or Diamond and Pearl came out. That's when Blades kind of phased out. And Pokemon on the Nintendo DS kind of phased in when I was in school. Welcome right into the stream. I watched new Blades on Disney Plus. Wait, there's a new Blade show? Wait, hold on, there's a new Blade. Honestly, I couldn't keep up. It's like that Shaman King. There's a brand new remake of Shaman King, which was kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, there is a new Blade show. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Bro, what the hell is these guys? That looks like a kid show. By kid show, I mean that they look even younger compared to the old Blade anime, where they kind of look somewhat mature in a way. Blade show. Yeah. The old Blade show that I've used to watch that was released in 2001 to 2005. They look way more mature compared to the current Blade on Disney Plus. By the looking at the animation rise. Yeah, I used to watch Blade and Bakugan. Bakugan was the shit. Pardon my language. I do love watching Bakugan, especially the first season. The second season was alright, and the third season was like, what the hell am I watching? It's named Blade X. Yeah, I saw it. It looks like a kid show. Although it is a kid show, but I mean in terms of their animation, it just looks somewhat goofy compared to Blade 2001. And even the other Blade, what's it called? Metal Fusion. Oh wait, or was that the same Blade? Was that the same Blade? Metal Fusion? No, there's two different Blades. There's the original Blade, and there's Blade Metal Fusion. Yeah, I remember those two series. But Blade Burst? What the hell is that? Burst Surge. Oh, no wonder I didn't know about it. It's from 2020. Yeah. Is your phone a good one? Your new one? Yeah, my new phone is quite good. It's a Samsung A05, I believe. That was released in 2023. So I have somewhat of an updated version.
Oh man, I'm sure that didn't sit well.
2005, I was 19.
It caused drama in the house, although we try not to let it get up to
I
mom.
was like 7 back then.
To mom eventually.
Since I was born in 1998.
And I'll leave it at that.
We'll let y'all fill in the words.
Yeah. Let y'all imagine how that went, was what I said earlier.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, I remember playing through the game, playing through Generation 5. I remember everything about my first adventure. I picked Oshawott because I thought the little goober was funny to look at.
Can't argue with you on that.
Wow, Charon kind of sucks. Like, just off rip because he talked a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, Bianca kind of sucks because she doesn't believe in herself, and that's annoying.
Okay, hold on. Did this man just started on Generation 5 and he's dissing Sharon and Bianca by calling them sucky? Excuse you, sir. No, I cannot take this violation. That's coming out of your mouth. Saying that Sharon and Bianca sucks. They don't suck. They were good rivals. With an excellent, story somewhat. Sharon, it's debatable, but I did like Bianca's story. But when let's just write.
I was a very, very
let's just
shitty
write.
kid.
Yeah, you was a shitty kid.
You just saw the
Goddamn right.
Let's put it that.
Yeah, I spent more of my time in ISS and suspended than actually in a classroom.
What the
But
fuck
I was
is
going to
ISS?
day, and you know how, like, on the way to not Castelia, right after you get out of Castelia City, you go on your way to Nimbasa City. There's that little, like, desert resort area. There's a small chance you could just catch a Scraggy over there. It was the first encounter I got. I was like, huh, this little dude has pants. That's pretty cool.
And you have
So
pants.
And I leveled up Scraggy. And the cool thing I like about Black and White is that they made you use the new Pokemon before letting you catch the other generation Pokemon.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a cool thing. I wish they'd bring it
I
back,
agree.
but
That was cool.
I remember by the time I got to level 40, because the way I play Pokemon games, when I'm not streaming, I just hyper level everything. And it's just the way I do all JRPGs. I hyper level all my Pokemon pretty much to max, and I just kind of breeze through everything because I just want to experience the story after that.
I was riding the school bus by middle school when I was 13.
Be under level and everything.
Exactly. It's like, I don't need to worry about the battle aspect of this because I can just steamroll you anytime I want. I remember Scraggy evolved into Scrafty.
Oh, ISS is school suspension. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Fell into place from there.
Do you feel like because you overleveled your Pokemon from there, that you get to experience more of the story that you wouldn't had you not otherwise?
For me, it's more like I can, because I have ADHD. So for me, it's just like if I don't have to worry about like the fighting aspect, I could pay better attention to the story. I can process the information that's coming to me, and I could be like form my opinions better without thinking, oh hey, I got to get my Pokemon up to this level for the gym.
You mentioned earlier how you were in ISS, you had ADHD, you were having a lot of stuff going at home, obviously. Like, how did Pokemon play a role in that? Was it kind of like a safe space for you to kind of go and just escape the world, or was it kind of just something that you did just to pass the time?
It's a little bit of both, if I'm being honest. See, because the kind of person I am is like, once I've experienced something, I can't experience it again without being like, oh, I already know this, which is why, like, if I watch a movie, I be like, all right, this movie, I've seen this, I like this, that's it. Unless it really stuck with me. Like, one of my favorite things to revisit every once in a while is like the original.
Hi everyone, welcome to the stream, Nate. Just watched this podcast. It really touched me. How y'all doing today? I'm doing good, my dude. I'm doing good, I can't lie. I just finished work and I just decided to myself, you know what? Let me live stream this as I have been doing in the past. So yeah, so far it's alright. But it's not that much details as of yet compared to the other Pokemon pages, podcasts. But yeah, I'm just halfway in, so I can't really be judgmental as of yet. But yeah, I'm doing fine, my dude. Hopefully you're doing fine as well, Nate.
Pokemon movie, the first movie, just because when I experienced that, I remember experiencing that by myself. I was like, huh, this is really good. And it was the first time I felt like that about a cartoon movie, if that makes sense. Or anime movie in this case. Because Pokemon was also my introduction to anime. So I revisit that every once in a while for like nostalgia purposes. And whenever I was pretty much like going through something when I was in DCF care, and then during the process of my parental rights to me, and then getting
DSFI what's that? DSIF. Yeah. Is that like adoption? Dynamic Support Registry and Care Education. It also refers to the UK SAD Care, a home care provider in East London, offering services like personal care and living care. What? SAD Care, personal care, washing, dressing, living care. So is it like foster care then? DSIF? Dynamic Support Registry and Care Education. What the hell does that do? Is it to support children with complex needs in children homes? I'm not sure what the American term is for that.
Adoptive, and then my adoptive mother pretty much kicking me to the curb when I was 18 said, okay, fend for yourself. By the way, I took all your documents and I shredded them. I was like, well, okay, wow.
Wait, she shredded them?
It was kind of like, I always kept up with Pokemon, even if I wasn't like actively in, like couldn't watch the shows for whatever reason. I always kept tabs on it. And that's why sometimes I'll do something stupid on stream. It's like, what is this Pokemon again? Because I'll be honest with you, Generation 7 is like a blank for me, other than the fact that the video game...
Yeah, I agree. Generation 7 has such random Pokemon.
Brainwash or something. Lily's mom.
Yeah, more like foster care. Okay, I was right.
The anime versus the game. Because
I agree. Generation 7 was just wacky.
I mean, no. The game was a bit too dark, which makes sense. But, like, outside of that, Generation 7 is, like, a blank to me. And, like, Generation
I agree.
6, I remember pretty much that when I played through the games, it's like, the guy wants to destroy the world, and then there's this old guy who's coming back.
I haven't played Generation 6 as of yet.
Like a Floette or
but, yeah,
which one it was.
Some point next year, I will stream Generation 6.
Oh my god, I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. I'm like, why is this tall, lanky bastard?
Since my goal for this year is to do Generation 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, that reminds me.
If I can.
Remember, like, when I first played through Generation 6, I was thoroughly convinced.
That's messed up.
Oh, hey, you get a Mega.
Yeah, it is messed up to shred all the documents.
Gets a Mega, right? No.
Oh.
Like, those documents are
yeah, it's just like
B
now,
to obtain.
When I see Naveen and him having in his
Generation 7 was all over.
Mega bracelet.
Yeah, it was all over in terms of Pokemon names.
Partner, and then seeing his jacket design from the back, there's a Scrafty right on the nape of his neck. I'm just like, oh, what's happening? And if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna fucking riot. I got 975 people on this page. And
Riot.
To war was Game Freak, and
My man said riot.
I will take.
No wonder why he likes Scrafty.
Get Scrafty a Mega now.
Yeah, KKK member. That's Scrafty.
Hey, you. Yes, you with the ears. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Love hearing real stories from real trainers? Help As the Pokeball Turns become the best Pokemon interview podcast like no one ever was. By joining our Patreon, you're not just supporting the show, you're helping more fans share their journeys with the world. As a thank you, you'll get a custom Pokemon wristband each month, themed after a featured Pokemon. Head on over to patreon.com/AsThePokeballTurns and join our community today. It's interesting just to see how Pokemon's just, I know, you mentioned other franchises that have played the role, but it's amazing to see how Pokemon even played a role into that, to kind of give you a place of, I'll say, a connection, because you talked about how you kind of resonated with Chimchar from the anime, of it being tossed away from Paul. You resonate with Scraggy and the baggy pants and the hip-hop culture side of thing. It sounds like you were able to kind of get pieces of identity you kind of resonated with from different parts of Pokemon. And that's amazing. That's what I love.
Especially from his family
A
situation.
good portion of this, too, is just the fact that, it's like, when you grow up, given the situation I'm in...
Sure.
Wait, when are you going to do one of these stories? I probably won't do any of these stories, to be honest with you. Because I will just keep on yapping non-stop without getting to the point. So yeah, I won't be doing one of these stories. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but yeah. I would most likely do my own type of stories. My own like podcasts, which was planning for the past few months now to do. Or it's in the works of doing that at some point in time. But it's not a priority currently, to just do those type of stuff in general. But yeah, with doing these stories, I'm not really too sure. For now, I would say I won't do it. But who knows what happens what will happen in the future, if I will do one of these stories or not. But yeah, everyone else, it's better for them to do their story and their part and whatnot. Since I'm not really that interactive, when it comes to other Pokemon pages in general, I just don't go on other pages' posts and comment or like or whatnot. I always keep myself to myself in my own bubble. Probably due to my experience of being a admin for, let's say, 10 plus years for my previous pages. I could say I'm somewhat shut in a way. So yeah, doing this podcast, I'm not really too sure currently, but who knows what will enter in the future.
When I was raised, you're in and out of foster care constantly. You've lived with practical strangers for the majority of your life, and like throughout the 18 years of your young child life, you've only lived with your birth mother for roughly 4 of them, and 1.5 of them you don't even remember because you were a fucking baby. It does kind of mess with you after a while, and you kind of have to make your own bridge.
Yeah.
And which is why I consider Pokemon, because Pokemon's like a bridge to me. You kind of use that as a bridge to build connections elsewhere. It's like most of my close friends that I have now, the very few I have, one thing we all have in common is we all love Pokemon. Like my girl who just started the Skeledirge with Dread page, we met at the downtown library in Hartford. And pretty much me not having a real way to like communicate with people, I noticed, hey, they're talking about the new Pokemon game. I like Pokemon. Let me try to talk. And then I'm sitting there like a fucking idiot while they're all staring at me. He's like, why is this weirdo staring at me? But eventually I did kind of stammer out like, hey, I play this game too. And I pulled out my phone because I was playing a black emulator on my phone. And then we all started kind of talking like that. And throughout more and more interactions with them, we became friends, and I started to learn more about them. They started learning more about me. And it's kind of like one of those things where like, that's kind of like Pokemon really is kind of the reason why I have any friends, really.
You mentioned how it's the bridge of way you were able to connect with people. Was it because of just your upbringing, the way you were in and out of foster care your whole life, the way you didn't have that kind of parental connection that other people might try to relate to? Do you think if it wasn't for Pokemon and this interest you had in other spheres that you wouldn't have the friendships you have today?
If I'm being honest, if it wasn't for Pokemon, I'd probably be in jail right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I have a lot of anger issues, and I've been going to a therapist, thankfully. And it started back in high school, where they forced me to go to a therapist. I did something in middle school, which involved a principal. And pretty much the court said, hey, DCF had to go to court. Pretty much just like, hey, either you find an outlet for this anger you got, you go see a therapist and find an outlet for this anger issues that you have, or your next stop is juvie. And that's kind of like my slap on the wrist, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's your wake-up call.
Yeah, it's kind of my wake-up call. But to me, it was just like, yo, fuck this fucking judge. Because at the time, I'm like 12, 13.
Sure.
Jesus, my man was a rebel.
Like, I don't have a real concept of, hey, you just called.
Well, it kind of doesn't make sense due to his
it's like the same
upbringing.
You know, a lot of us who were that age, we rebelled against our parents. That's you rebelling at your parents instead of your parents is the judge of the state, is your state you live in.
The thing is, Scrafty didn't just rebel against people in his personal life, but he rebelled against the educational system itself by doing whatever he did to his principal. But yeah, that is, I don't agree with it, of course, to do that with adults. But I kind of do understand his circumstances of his upbringing, going from home to home like a yo-yo, and no one really caring about you. They're just only caring about the paycheck. So yeah, I do relate to him in a way, except for messing up with his principal, whatever he had done to him. Hopefully he doesn't get into it.
Makes sense, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, now I'm thinking about it, it's like, I'm kind of glad that they kind of put me on the right path, because I very easily could be in jail, in and out of jail right now, like a good portion of other people that I see in my community who didn't have people looking out for them, who didn't have kids that were, it was actually the principal's, I still don't like that man, but I do acknowledge that he could, I still acknowledge that he could have pressed charges on me if he wanted to, and I could have went to juvie straight up. Because I did throw that man down a flight of stairs.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! My man said it! What? Excuse you? So he yanked his principal and just tossed him like a Pokeball down the flight of stairs. Oh, what the frick, man. What the frick? That is crazy. That is crazy, doing that to a adult. With me, I was kind of crazy as well, but my craziness went towards other kids my age, but not towards the adults themselves. But yo, what the frick? Because I know that if you were to do it with like other kids, you won't get into that serious of a trouble. The maximum you would get into trouble is suspension, or you will just get expelled for like 1 week or 2 weeks or something like that. But doing it with an adult, that's legal consequences. They could sue you, they could take you to court, get you arrested. But if you're doing it with other kids, it's a free real estate, my guy. Because you don't know how many times I got away with hurting other kids my age back then, because they hurted me first, or they diss my mom, or they said X, Y, and Z about my dad. And back then, I used to be a mental patient, basically. Just imagine Infernate going rage mode. That was me. I was Infernate rage mode with other kids. Because my policy back then was ZT, which is zero tolerance. So I had zero tolerance towards other kids my age. If they said something about my family or about myself in general, or if they pushed me, or they cussed me, or they laughed at me, I just used to ram on them. But yeah, now I'm a lot tamer. I'm basically Smart Hulk. Now, I just don't harm anyone in general. I always retreat when it comes to fighting.
I whipped a desk at a teacher. And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the back of a cop car with my hands behind my back.
Yeah, broken homes we call in the US.
Pitch, like basically
Damn, threw him down the stairs. I was super popular in school.
Yeah.
I wasn't even popular in school.
What happened? And then I'm in a precinct in downtown in my hometown up in Connecticut, and they're telling me like, my mom comes in, my birth mother, and she's like, "Yo, what the fuck did you do?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I don't even know why I'm here. And then she explains to me, like,
excuse
hey,
you?
You whipped the desk at a teacher, you whipped the desk at like 3 students, you threatened to stab another student.
What
and then when
the
the
hell?
tried to calm you down, since nobody else could, you picked him up over your shoulders, like you tackled him, and then you picked him up and you like kind of whipped him down the stairs.
What the frick?
That sound like me. I was like, well, that's what you did. And it was kind of like one of those things where I got sentenced pretty much to like community service. It was like,
my man had a blackout moment.
like something like that. 100 hours. I had to like check in with a therapist twice a week. I had to go into this program where I had like it was kind of like a Big Brother mentor service. And then I had to find better outlets. And that's kind of how I got into football. I got more into Pokemon that way. Like, not more into Pokemon in the fact that, it wasn't into Pokemon, but I kind of got more into like the deeper connection to Pokemon. Just something to calm me down because that made me happy.
It was a grounding mechanism for you.
Yeah, it was a grounding mechanism. It's either I do this or I do something that gets me thrown in jail.
Right.
And I remember like being the Pokemon kid on the football team caused problems on the football team. But then again, when you're 5'10", like 350 pounds, in your freshman year, people don't really take it too far.
So you were the outcast on your football team for liking Pokemon, but because of your size, they...
Honestly, back then, I was kind of a big kid myself. And kids in the UK, or well, my school, they will still pick on you. It's like a dick measuring contest. They want to see who has the bigger dick between you, basically. So yeah, that was my experience in school. Even if I was a tall kid, I'm like 5'11" now, which is 180 centimeters. Back then, I was roughly 5'10", or still the same height, and kids will still pick on me. No matter what size you are, either you're fat, obese, small, skinny, or a twig. Kids in the UK, or well, my schools, they'll still pick on you. Unless if you stand up for yourself to beat the living daylights out of them, then you will gain respect amongst other kids. That's how it normally goes. Or you could just be submissive and not do anything and just run away from conflict, and you will keep on getting bullied. Even if you tell teachers or your parents or X, Y, and Z person, it won't get resolved. It will just keep on continuing with the same cycle. But yeah, that's my take anyway, from the schools that I have been to.
Kind of let that be kind of your own thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, yeah, we can poke fun at him, but you poke fun too much, he might actually, like, because at that point, because at the time I lived in such a small town, the news got around, and it was just like, okay, this guy's a psychopath, why is he not in jail? Because nobody knew why I wasn't in jail. They all knew what happened, though. Right. Everyone thought it was like, oh, you got sent to prison, because when I went to, because I think it was 10th grade, it was 8th grade. For the remainder of 7th grade and 8th grade, I was in like a behavioral school. Mm-hmm. And then when I finally...
Yeah, you being big now kind of does make sense.
You're going to be in these
due to your
classes,
situation.
You're on this floor, you're going to be allowed to go to other classes, but only like 3 classes a day. And pretty much you're going to have to check in with this. It was like, yo, this seems excessive. It's like, well, the alternative is this. Another
that seems kind of odd.
All right, fine. So I met a couple kids over the course of behavioral classes that also like Pokemon that I was friends with for a while. And then one of them did something crazy. But pretty much it was like more Pokemon, more anime. And I think this is around the time that my mother lost parental rights to me.
It's a lot, man. Like, you've been through a lot in and out of foster care. You know, you had anger issues, you had behavior issues, and it's amazing to see how something as simple as Pokemon prevents you from going to the deep end. You know, a lot of people don't understand that kind of life. They don't comprehend it. And I think even just hearing your words, I don't think many people who listen could even fathom it.
Wait, speaking of school, I was friends with the popular varsity football bros. Wait, are they like the football team? I think they're the football team, what you guys call it in America. I'm not sure if you're from America, Nate. It was so awesome for me. I was bullied and cyberbullied quite a few times in high and oh, okay, you are American. High and junior school, but the varsity bros and girls that loved me always looked out for me. That's good, Nate, that you had that support network in your school of people defending you, protecting you from just yourself, basically. Because the worst enemy as a kid is yourself, then other bullies or other people in general, or even teachers, if they love to pick on you. If you cannot conquer yourself, then you cannot conquer anything in general. So it's good that you had that support network with you. It's really good you have that support network. Especially from the jocks, what you Americans call it, or the cheerleaders. That is quite impressive, I'm not going to lie. That is super popular kids protected you or shielded you from that trauma. Because if you had no support as a kid, the only support you have is yourself, as I mentioned a while ago. If you cannot support yourself, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, then you will just break down piece by piece. And one of those days you will just crash out. Which I kind of did quite a lot of times. Since no one listened to me as a kid back then. And I was a liar, I was a thief, and I was kind of mental back then. With issues. Let's call it that. Issues. And yeah, I had a few teachers that cared about me. And a few people that I called as friends. But yeah, it didn't really work out in my home situation with my mom. Then me no longer living with my mom. I live with my dad. Then I no longer live with my dad. Then I lived in foster care. It was pretty rough. But my foster care situation compared to Scrafty was a lot better compared to my family life or any other life that I had back then, because this family was a Christian family, like your everyday church black family, you know. They were quite good people. They treated me with love, care, respect, and they looked after me like I was one of their own. And they tried to build my confidence up, as well as try to make me be a lot more sociable with people outside. And they did try their best to try and make me turn into a upstanding gentleman as I am today. Yeah. I can't even call myself a gentleman now because I'm a little dirtbag as well when it comes to people. But when it comes to certain people that I class as my family or my close friends, I'll ride for you and I will die for you. No matter what, how, where, when, if you need help, I got you. If it's within my power, of course. That goes with my online mates and my IRL mates. If I have the power, the money, the responsibility, I got you 100%. Not even 100%, 1000%, I got you. But yeah, it really does depend. But other than that, I'm just more of a douche towards everyone in general. And I just close down my barriers when it comes to people this year. Just recently, I lost a friend, a female friend, who I class as a sister in a way. I've known her for 5 years, and just recently, I think it was 2 days ago, I just started saying to myself, you know what, it's time for me to cut ties with her. And I told her like what was her problem with me by giving me a cold shoulder for so many months, and she's not really talking to me. as she used to back then. And yeah, if it was me from last year or the previous years, I would have broken down crying because I lost a friend that was close to me. But when I got rid of her 2 days ago, I wasn't even crying. I wasn't tearing up. I wasn't feeling emotional. The current me now, I just don't feel anything inside when it comes to people. When it comes to people, I just don't feel anything, like emotions wise. You could say whatever you want to say when it comes to that, but I just somewhat am disconnected when it comes to my emotions. So when I lose someone that's close to me, I just don't feel anything towards them anymore. Or currently, I should say. So last year, I kind of went downhill with a major crash out. And this year, I just don't have anything inside. I'm empty. I'm basically empty inside. I don't feel anything. When someone tells me that they have cancer and they're close to me, I just don't feel anything. I'm numb to it. And yeah, I could probably get that checked out. But the current me now, I prefer to be by myself in a way for the next few years. And I just don't want to worry about X, Y, and Z or about getting a girlfriend or try to get married or anything like that. For me, my current objective is just living or trying to survive. That's my current objective currently for the next few years. Then, yeah, after the next few years, I will decide on where I want to go or if I want to sleep for good. But yeah, that's my current mindset currently. I just don't feel nothing towards anyone. Even if you're close to me currently and you tell me about your condition, I could sympathize, but emotionally speaking, my IOL self, I just don't feel anything. I don't really cry anymore when it comes to certain information or about X, Y, and Z, about someone that's close to me. So yeah, it's kind of bad, but hey, that's my current objective right now, just to live for the next few years, and yeah, and hopefully growing this platform that I have, that is Facebook, or my other social medias at some point in time. But yeah, the Facebook page, Ash Ketchum, has it has helped me stabilize, I should say. It helped me cope with my current situation in life. And without it, I'm not sure where I would go from there, really. So it's like my bread and butter, this page, for the past 10 years now. Although it's not good to get attached, but I am attached to this page. And when I recently got this page back in March this year, I was just extremely happy. I think that was the first time I have actually felt happiness for the past few years, genuinely. Where I felt something inside, where I was crying, and when I was fully emotional when I got this page back. But yeah, it goes deeper. It goes deeper. I might do a podcast over it at some point. Anyway, let's
The fact that
continue.
you're still here,
Enough
the fact
about
that you're
me.
still kind of fighting. It says a lot about how much, I'll say, tenacity you have,
No brainer.
determination you have, and the fact that
No
you're
brainer.
still trying, because it's not easy.
Thank you.
When it came to you playing Pokemon,
See, nada.
you still you're playing football. You're still engaged in the franchise. What did you enjoy most about it? What did you love about Pokemon?
Well, I guess this is the best way to put it. It's like another thing I liked a lot about it is it was violence that wasn't real. Simulated violence.
Whoa. What do you mean about that?
Of what Pokemon is, because like, it's supposed to be a competition. Nobody's getting hurt. You can heal.
My man's first thoughts was violence.
It's still dogfight.
I love it.
Pokemon is just a dogfighting competition if we really get down to it.
Well, I mean, that's what they brought up in Black and White, your first game. That's what the whole story was about.
Exactly. Which, to be fair, is like, if it wasn't for the fact that Getsus was trying to turn that into like, I'm gonna take all your Pokemon away to dominate the world, they'd have a point. And up until like the end where I figured that, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of with Team Plasma until the big turn happened. Cause I was with Team Plasma on their entire steez because of N all the way until Getsus kind of showed his true colors.
Yeah, I agree. I was the same way as well.
That makes sense. But I was with you. And that's the best kind of villain. The villain that makes sense.
Well, I mean, even when you think about it, the way N was brought up, obviously, because he was kind of
He was brought up brainwashed.
Right,
and that whole idea
in a cult.
We're forcing Pokemon. I know ultimately it's a choice, but in a way, the concept they're battling with is like, how much freedom of choice do Pokemon really have when it comes to battles? And they don't really fully answer that question. They kind of leave the door open when you really try to dive a little more deeper beyond it. But it's a question that, Pokemon fans have always joked about, and Pokemon actually acknowledging kind of made it such an interesting plot point.
Yeah, it's always been a very interesting conversation with me and like other Pokemon fans. It's just, all right, Pokemon are our friends, but real life, would you walk up to your friend, let's just say Jenny, I don't know, just a name.
Sure.
Let's just say, hey Jenny, go punch that guy in the neck right now for no reason. Would we keep Jenny in like a cage at all times and just carry that cage on our belt if we could like shrink it down?
Yep.
Probably not.
I mean, if it's with the laws,
because that's how
you can do that.
And I want to know. Obviously, we talked about the inspiration behind it, but what made you want to make a Facebook page?
All right, so this is gonna be sad. So it was a last-ditch effort for me to find a reason to not kill myself. I have a lot of guns. I usually use them for work.
Whoa. He's talking about offing himself like that. God damn, I'm surprised as the Pokeball turns didn't censor that. Because Facebook in general is quite sensitive when it comes to those type of topics or other social media in general. Holy crap. But yeah, I kind of do relate to that heavy. Kind of do relate.
I'd gone through a pretty bad breakup. Part of it was my fault. Part of it wasn't my fault. And I was feeling down because, like, I swore she was the love of my life. I was like, dang, I messed
we all felt the same at some point. I was trying
everything. I was sad. I was drinking a lot. Drinking a little bit too much. I was like, you know what? I saw Ampharos. It just so happened to cross across my main feed. I was like, all right, so here's Amphi. And I trying to remember exactly what it was. I think it was literally Amphi posted a picture of like a couple Marines.
Oh, you're talking about the Facebook page.
I can do that. Like, who does this guy think he is? So I made a page, and at the time it was just Scrafty, because this is where I found out of the other non-active Scrafty pages from the past that posted less than favorable things. And I made a post. I think it was my first or second post. I tagged Amphi. It's like somewhere in my head, it was just like, this guy's not better than me. Because just me being angry with life and the position I was in. I was dealing with debt from a car accident, and then having to transition to like taking care of everything by myself, while also taking care of other things in my life.
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight. And then the support system I had in her was gone.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, Amphi was like, "Oh my gosh, new friendo, hi!" I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, that's Amphi, all right.
That's kind. So I just kept doing that. And then I shortly got introduced to the rest of the crew in the group chat. And I was like, you know what? You guys are pretty cool. This is a cool company. I think I'm going to keep doing this. And I did. And I slowly started to feel less and less hopeless. And it's, like I said, it's kind of the reason why I'm still alive today. Because
I relate.
This community gave me the kindness and the interaction to kind of like, all right, let me stick around for another day. So on and so forth. And it's gotten to a point where I'm better now. And I don't feel like I'm going to do that anytime soon.
I mean, it just sounds like Amphi kind of gave you hope to where you were on your last leg. And then just that one small, like, graceful, it wasn't even much. They just said, oh, a new friend.
Right.
Brought you kind of back down to where it reminded you that you still mattered.
Right.
Yep, and it's not too late.
There are people out there who still kind of want to be your friend, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of like a rock in the middle of like a raging river going down off a waterfall.
Yeah.
It's like it hurts to hit up against, but all right, I got something to keep me steady now. I'm not getting swept away. I'm not getting swept off the edge. And from there, I found my footing. I kind of got my mental health in check. And eventually, I won't say I'm completely out of the river, but I'm kind of close to the shore. And honestly, compared to where I was, that's a godsend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a massive
Had a tough life to
improvement.
try to get to this point. And, you know, just those small steps to have you found your kind of crew that you can kind of vibe with to where, you know, they accept you for who you are, not based on who you were.
Right. And I thank all of them for that. It's big shouts out to them, Univer Region, Pokemon Fanatics, Harry the Hitmonchan, Rowlet Girl, all of them in the crew.
Well, let me ask you about their Facebook page because you said like
Yeah, Riley
a lot
Go
of
is
the
the
other Scrafty
MVP.
pages, you know, they weren't active. They didn't kind of represent what you were either going for or what you felt Scrafty represented. So how did you want to approach what you did on your Facebook page differently than what you saw and put your own spin on it?
The kind of thing about me is like I think a lot of people that kind of interact with me is like I'm very candid with what I say. Like I won't deny it. I'm a fucking asshole.
Hey, at least you know.
Hey, at least he's
At
truthful.
least you know, yeah.
I own that. I embrace it.
At least he's
That's my
truthful.
personality through and through.
Mm-hmm.
But I always want to have respect for others and make sure everybody feels comfortable being themselves. There is never a moment where I want people to engage with me and think, "Oh, I'm not safe to be here." You know what I'm saying? And some of those other pages, like they kind of like made their jokey posts too. They're kind of like their personal posts, their personality posts as well. But some of them were a little, let's just say, some of them were a little outdated in what their values were. Because you know how like early 2010s, late 2000s humor differs a lot from what's acceptable now. I was like, I don't want to be associated with that. I don't want someone to look up, hey, look up this Scrafty page. They accidentally see a different Scrafty page and they see something about gangster rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Oh Lord, he didn't even sense the
Like you
R
need a
word
place to
either.
find a safe haven to
This man is
welcome those who
insane.
not follow your footsteps, but at least resonate with not having a place to belong, with not having a, I'll say, no more upbringing. In a
Right.
way.
That is
Like,
true.
be yourself
Honestly,
here,
honestly,
but
it's
also
the
be
key to
accepting
move
others.
forward
That's
in
my favorite
life.
thing. Like on my page, I don't tolerate downplaying women. I don't tolerate disrespecting the LGBT community. Like if that's not your thing, I can't force you to be your thing. But if you're
Honestly, he's a better man than me. I don't even put those rules in place. I just let everyone go out as they want on my page. The only times where I would say something is when I open up my DMs and people were sending me pictures of their children in like half nudity, basically, which was quite disturbing to say the least, as well as pictures of themselves, which was disturbing. And some followers, female followers, DM'd me, wanna get to know me more, so they could show me their nudes. Which I don't mind, honestly. I'm not gay or anything, but it's just crazy, really, on how strange people are. People are really strange when it comes to you running a Facebook page and DMs being opened or activated in general. He just sends some random ass unhinged stuff to you. It's honestly crazy. But yeah, I just don't really censor anything or do any rules on my page. Unless if it needs my attention. Because everyone is different in general on how they run their pages, all their comment sections, or X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I think the post that I did about Dawn with a cheerleader outfit, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, Dawn is the best character because she's wearing a cheerleader outfit and she's supporting Ash. But you see all these other people in the comments try to say X, Y, and Z about Dawn and try to sexualize her. And of the other side is calling out those people for being EDPs, which is PDF people. And the Leco page, don't get me started with the Leco page. The Leco page is something else. If I post something that's wholesome about Leco, there's so many people saying how much they love Leco and they want to marry her and they want to date her or X, Y, and Z. The Leco page is built different, I tell you. That for sure. So I do avoid posting sexual type of stuff content on my page or on my pages in general because I just don't want myself to be associated with that. I could do that in private, but in public, where I see this page somewhat of like a business, it just doesn't sit right with me. But I might change my way of thinking of that at some point in time, just to engagement farm. So I might post something sexual, but on the lower end of sexual content, just to see if that works or if that doesn't work. Basically, engagement farming. Strange, you're thought of people kinky. Seriously, people on my page used to be kinky. They used to be kinky, sending me so much stuff in personal DMs. That's why all my pages I close off DMs. Because A, I can't manage them. Because people are extremely needy towards you that want all your time and energy and space just to message them back and forth. And another part is he send you some random stuff about random things, and you think to yourself, what is this about? And the other spectrum of people that message you, they just send you pictures of their kids or children in general, or adults showing pictures of themselves. It's just strange. It's really strange. But yeah, I don't have rules on my page. I do have some certain blocked banned words in the background, like the N word and Netflix and the Pokemon Company, because I hate people keep tagging those companies in my page. I'm like, no, just F off with that. And I just delete those comments. But anything in general, where someone calls someone else, I don't know. Let's say, for example, telling another female follower to get back to the kitchen, I just don't delete it or say anything. I just let it play out, unless if it needs my attention. But yeah, that's just me in general.
Going to interact with my community on my page. You're going to respect everybody in it because I run this gang, not you. And if you don't like it, go make your own page.
At this point with Pokemon, like I said, you have a lot of different interests, but obviously I'm most primarily focused on Pokemon. What's your kind of relationship now? Like, do you still try to play the games to try to gain the story, or do you see it more of a way to connect with your friends moving forward?
Well, I see it right now as kind of like a, hey, this is my little like piece of heaven. This is what I can do that makes me feel happy, and it makes other people feel happy too. So come enjoy it with me. Usually I'll try to play something by myself first, so that way I can get the pure enjoyment out of it before going and having other people enjoy it with me. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. I mean, that's how
I don't do that
I
anymore.
used to always have these like goals within Pokemon games to where I would try to complete the decks, or
Legit, I cannot do that anymore. The only games I play by myself is gacha games, and that's when I'm working. That's the only thing that I do play. But when it comes to other story-based games or other games that I used to play, I just can't play them anymore without streaming. I'm at the point where I'm comfortable with streaming, and where there's a game that I want to play, I just stream it. Because I know deep down, I won't play that game off stream. I just won't do it. Well, if I'm streaming it, even if it gets no views or anything like that, I just stream it for the love of the game, really. Not the game itself, I mean for the streaming game. So that's why I just stream when it comes to new games in general. Because I want to play those games, and at the same time I want to complete those games. Because knowing myself deep down, I will not touch them if I'm by myself. So it somewhat pushes me to move forward by completing some games. So once my PC has been fully set up, with like 2 more stuff that I'm waiting for me to rebuild my PC, I'll be streaming other games that are higher quality. And my goal is to stream the Mafia games at some point, as well as, I don't know, like GTA or something like that. Once I get a better PC specs compared to my current specs, because I do like on certain games now for some reason. So Rosa, one of the best looking female characters, she would be 25 years old in our time. But in Pokemon, they say she's young. Yeah, Rosa is quite young. I think you're talking about the black and white protagonist, Rosa. Yeah, she's quite young. I think she's in mid-teens, I believe, compared to the previous protagonist when he turned 10. Well, the black and white protagonists are in their mid-teens, I would say. Stay, not say. Oh, they stay young forever. Oh, okay, I see it.
Trying to get all Pokemon to level 100, but nowadays, and part of it maybe is because I'm older now, I care more about connecting with others than I do with trying to do everything possible within the game.
Right.
And that's just been my approach now, to where, however I can connect with others through Pokemon, it's kind of how I am in my stage of life. Because that's just what I value more nowadays.
I think my big value as Pokemon now is like, alright, I want to kind of be here, be happy with a community that also likes to be here and be happy.
Yeah, she's 14.
And
yeah, I
want
was
to be
right.
Me, and I want to share my love of this guy right here with the funky mohawk, the baggy pants, and the hoodie. I think
Language!
Scrafty doesn't get enough respect to this day.
Scrafty's underrepresented.
Hey, Scrafty gets
And
plenty
like I
of
said,
respect from
Naveen
Chauffeur.
is going to be top 5 all-time rival. I don't care if that's not factually true. That's it for me.
Wait, did he say Beat? Beat from Sword and Shield?
Scrafty's underrepresented.
Absolutely. And like I said, Naveen is going to be top 5 all-time rival. I don't care if that's not factually true. That's it for
Naveen?
me.
Who the hell is Naveen?
Well, very cool.
Who the
I wanna
hell is
finish on a fun
Luffy?
question. You've had a very deep story. If people were going to come challenge you into a Pokemon battle, what 6 Pokemon would you bring?
So if I was a trainer, I'd have Scrafty. I'd
Scrafty.
probably have,
Scrafty. Scrafty. I'm more
You can
Scrafty.
do what you want.
All right, Lee, let me just rattle off some bullshit then. All right.
6 Scrafties.
Okay, rattle
No,
off some
no,
bullshit.
5 Scrafties. 1 Shaggy.
Throw Corviknight in there. Corviknight's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Let's go as a classic and put a Nidoking in there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put a Gigalith in there. I like Gigalith.
Gigalith.
So for coverage, let's go ahead and throw in a Ursaring.
Oh, spicy choice. I like it.
Honestly, if it's an anime
I don't
Ursaring,
want my Pokemon,
Ooh,
my
boy.
Pokemon gym leader team to be like just generic. All right, these are some big, well-known Pokemon. No, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a fucking bear.
There you go.
And I don't want one of
There you go.
I don't want any of the basic bears like Snorlax, even though Snorlax is technically not a bear, but most people consider it.
All
I don't
right.
want Beartic. I want a just straight up, big, menacing, I take care of my family ass bear. So Ursaring.
All right.
Ursaring doesn't take care of family.
Scrafter,
He
people wanna
destroyed
check out
them.
content, if they want to visit
Oh, the
the
voice
page,
actor of
wherever they
N.
go, by all means,
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, so
And it's a
Facebook
best
page,
rival.
Eastside Scrafty, YouTube, Eastside Scrafty, Twitter, Eastside Scrafty. You want to add me on Nintendo Switch? I will have a link pinned to my Facebook page. So go to Eastside Scrafty, Blue Sky, Eastside Scrafty. And if you want to join a group for Pokemon creators and Pokemon pages, go to my page. I have pinned a link, Castelia City Pokemon Central. With that being said, thank you for having me, Mr. Hernandez.
And thank you for listening to As the Pokeball Turns. If this story resonated with you, share the podcast with a fellow trainer. Don't forget to follow us for more voices, more journeys, and more memories. I'm David Hernandez, and remember, your next Pokemon adventure begins here.
Honestly, that wasn't bad. Especially with his bringing up Pokemon, how Pokemon saved him from jail, basically. As well as from him going to foster care to foster care. It wasn't a bad story or podcast in general. Maybe the first half was somewhat slow and it didn't get to the point. But the second half, it kind of zoomed and it was paced well. I did like this podcast. If I were to rate my podcast so far, I don't know. Wait, how many podcasts are there? Oops, no, don't play this, don't play this. Don't play this song, please. I beg of you. Let me check on my YouTube since I've uploaded it on my YouTube. Um, Podcasts. Okay, so it's 4 podcasts because I reacted to Lady Clever as well. So I'm not sure who's my best podcast out of those 5. I would say, I know this is me glazing, but I would say Unova is my favorite podcast episode so far. And it will be Lady Clever. Then it will be Mrs. Sixagoon. And with Scrafty versus Ginger Joachi, I'm not really too sure. I would say EastSide is my favorite. My 4th favorite. Then it will be Ginger Joachi. Because I do relate to Seaside when it comes to offing yourself, as well as with your family in general. So I kind of do relate to him on that aspect. So if I were to do official ranking of the 5 podcasts from the Pokemon pages, I would have to say Unova first, Lady Clever second, then Mrs. Zigzagoon third, Scrafty 4th, and Ginger Joachi 5th. In terms of just the episodes in general, not the people. The episodes itself, I kind of do mess with Unova's episode the most compared to everyone else's. But yeah, that's my official reaction, basically, to As the Pokeball Turns. So make sure you guys support them in the links in the pinned comments on the stream. And yeah, support EastSide Scrafty as well. His link is in the pinned comment. And yeah, I catch you guys for next time for more As the Pok Return reaction. So anyway, guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day, night, and evening. And I catch you guys in a bit.